Chairperson, Your Excellencies and distinguished delegates, South Africa would like to start by expressing our sincere gratitude to the government and people of the Republic of Azerbaijan for the warm reception extended to us. Let us also join other delegations on behalf of the government and people of South Africa in congratulating the Republic of Azerbaijan as the chair of the 18th NAM Summit. Our appreciation and gratitude also go to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, the outgone chair of the non-aligned movement, for its commendable leadership and its commendable stewardship in having guided and strengthened our work since the 17th NAM Summit held in September 2016. Chairperson, South Africa welcomes and fully subscribes to the theme of this summit, entitled Upholding the Bandung Principles to ensure concerted and adequate response to the challenges of the contemporary world. This theme is both timely and apt, particularly given the current international relations and the climate characterized by unilateral action, which undermines a coordinated approach to addressing current conflicts and crises in the world. It is tempting to look inward for solutions to the prevailing challenges of our time, yet what is required from us as a movement is more cooperation, more coordination through forums such as the non-aligned movement to address shared challenges that continues to face the developing world in particular. 64 years ago, in April 1955, the leaders of 29 countries gathered in Bandung to participate in the first ASEAN-Africa conference. The outcome of this landmark gathering crafted a new ethos to govern international relations known as the Bandung Spirit, which embodied the formulation of the Dasar Sila Bandung, or the 10 Principles of Bandung, in the efforts to promote peace and cooperation in the world, including the fora of the United Nations. The Bandung Principles, Chairperson, represents the vision for a world where the voice of reason could be heard on international affairs, as the then President Sukarno of Indonesia put it. The establishment of NAM is a remarkable accomplishment in its own. Since this initiative, the movement has worked persistently for peaceful settlement of regional conflicts and made tremendous efforts for the establishment of a new international political and economic order that is fair and that is rational. Chairperson, in spite of all the efforts of the past 64 years since the adoption of the Bandung Principles, our world today is a far cry from what the leaders of the first Bandung Conference envisioned. We have seen regression and pushback towards our efforts to find multilateral, collective, and just solutions to prevailing conflicts. 64 years on, we have avoided major international conflicts, but are witnessing a proliferation of intrastate and cross-border conflicts, as well as new emerging threats that are global in nature, causing humanitarian crises and instability in many regions, thereby affecting the most vulnerable, namely women and children. South Africa, like many NAM members, remains deeply concerned about the deteriorating situation in Palestine. Demolitions of properties, continued illegal settlement, expansions and construction, forced evictions and collective punitive measures will not bring peace to the people of Palestine. Our movement, Chairperson, must therefore continue to urge a negotiated settlement for this long-standing conflict. Our movement must equally be seized with the issue of Western Sahara and we call on the UN Secretary General to appoint a personal envoy on Western Sahara. This should help to give fresh impetus to the negotiating process following the resignation of the previous envoy, Mr. Horst Kohler. We firmly believe that the resolution to this protracted issue lies in the implementation of the UN Security Council and General Assembly resolutions which called for the organization of a referendum on self-determination for the Western Sahara. NAM should reiterate the need for the Sahrawi people to exercise their right to self-determination and freedom in accordance with the Bandung Principles and the United Nations Charter on the granting of independence to colonial territories and its people, and hence the urgent need for a referendum on self-determination. Furthermore, Chairperson, we wish to reiterate today our steadfast solidarity with the government and people of Cuba, with the government and people of Venezuela, with the government and people of Zimbabwe, whilst condemning the continuation of unilateral sanctions against these countries. South Africa would like to use this opportunity to congratulate fellow NAM members, Indonesia, Libya, Mauritania, Namibia, Sudan, and Venezuela for being elected to the United Nations Human Rights Council for the term 2020-2022. The successful candidacies and elections of NAM member countries to the organs and bodies of the United Nations and other international organizations is due to the mutual support and solidarity among NAM members. Chairperson, the movement therefore should be repositioned to be at the center of global governance where the needs of our people must be addressed. In terms of global governance, we must continue to assert the preeminence of the United Nations. The UN is the only universal, credible and legitimate institution of global governance where our movement enjoys an undisputed majority. Therefore, we must resist efforts to divide us and use us as surrogates in battles that distract us from championing the needs of our people. Chairperson, our movement should and must redouble its efforts towards reform of the UN and its main bodies. The configuration of the Security Council is untenable in today's world and requires urgent and immediate reform if it is to be credible and relevant. In conclusion, Chairperson, as we take stock of what has been achieved under the banner of the non-aligned movement, we are proud that since Bandung, NAM became a home for developing countries as it is demanding the resolution of international tensions and wars. It's called for peace and disarmament, inspired by the principle of non-alignment, continues to inspire us. We are grateful on the occasion of the 25th celebration of the South African Democratic State for the role NAM has played in the decolonization of our continent, Africa, and the struggle against apartheid in South Africa. NAM has brought a new appreciation to the most important principle of the sovereignty of states. More than anything, NAM brought back our pride as a people, worthy enough to enjoy the rights contained in the Charter of the United Nations, which all human beings should enjoy. With that, Honorable Chairperson, I thank you very much.